amazing. You and I can totally be coffee buddies.
Gorgeous. Oh yeah. How's your grandma?
I like coffee. She's okay. She's doing better. She's 86 and she gets up on a step ladder to try to like open the window because it was nice out or something. And she lost her balance, and so she bumped her head, and you know she's got a bruised knee and bruised ego, but she's okay. So I just went and picked up some stuff from the store for her, so she didn't have to like go shopping and walk up and down the aisles. She'll be all right.
That's a good.
She's a tough old broad.
Bless her. She shouldn't be going up and down ladders. Even I don't go up and down ladders. Even I'm a bit dodgy, and I'm, you know, still in my 40s, albeit late ones.
Yeah.
10.
Well, yeah, and clumsiness like runs in the family. So it's just been like one of those weeks. Like I blew up my husband's lawnmower. Like everybody thinks like he's being melodramatic about it. Like just don't let your wife near the lawn equipment kind of stuff. But no, like there's like a 6-inch hole in the engine.
Oh my God. It's a really good way to make sure you don't have to do it again though. I mean,
yeah, I'm never gonna. Well, that was the thing. So he's got the riding lawnmower and the push mower, and like I use the push mower and I like it for the exercise. Like I like cutting the grass, so I would take the push mower out and I would go do across the pond and all my little trails and gardens and things and all the places he can't go. And then I hit one of the roots of our weeping cherry and bent the blade, so we haven't had the push mower for a while. And then he was like, oh, I have all this stuff to do. I have to cut the grass. And I've cut the grass with the riding mower. And it went like 10 feet and then went boom. And I was like, and then there was a lot of smoke. And I was like, I'm just going to put it back and cover it with the cover. And then when he goes to start it, he won't know that I blew it up. But then I felt so bad and it was still smoking. So I was like, I called him and I was like, honey, I love you so much, and I was trying to cut the grass because it was your birthday, and I didn't want you to do it, and I'm really sorry, but I blew up the lawnmower. And he's like, you did what? And he's like, you didn't blow up the lawnmower. It's fine. He's like, you probably just stalled it out, you dumb girl. He's like, go in the kitchen and bake something and be a woman. And so then he got home, and he came in, and he's like, you legitly blew up the lawnmower. And I was like, I don't know how that's possible. So he begrudgingly admits now that it's not my fault, that I just happened to be the person to start it. We still don't know what the hell happened to it, but I didn't do anything that caused the lawnmower to spontaneously combust.
Yeah.
But he's blaming me for it anyway. So he went out and he bought like one of the old school like rotary ones that don't have an engine.
It doesn't have an engine.
Yeah, he's like, here you go. Can't blow up the engine on this one, can you? So that's what I'm going to go cut the grass with after critiques today. I'm super excited about it. But, you know, it's like good for the environment.
Until you scrape the side of his car with it because you haven't quite got the angle right.
Well, when I don't want to do it anymore, that's probably what will happen. So.
Not to be trusted in modern equipment.
No. Nope.
Cool.
Okay, so we're chatting about the crowdsourcing and the Kickstarter?
Yes, we are. I did everything I think that we'd mentioned last time.
Okay.
And then, of course, as I was thinking about it today, I've now decided that I might want to change a few things. Nothing's okay. I'm always like kind of thinking about a few things. I put it in the community thing, actually, the link. So I updated the video, like you said, and I put in some, I don't know if you've had a chance to see it, but I interlaced it. I'm just going to find it myself actually as well.
For our Hangout. Okay, let's go in and I'll just screen share. That'll make it.
Yeah, cool.
Easy.
It should be in the Sphere 3-bit. Yes, perfect.
All right. Okay. So here's a link for the Kickstarter page. Let's see. Is that updating to the Kickstarter page for you? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So this is what I was getting. It's asking me if I want to review, but it's not actually showing me.
If you scroll down.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
I kept like reloading it. Okay. So, I love this. This is such a better starting image too.
After
like it's so much more visually interesting, you know?
Yes. Well, I have to thank Paul for that, because he was the one that suggested putting it in somewhere that, you know, where you actually might be reading it. So I have to thank him. And actually, I can't remember who the other person was that made the same kind of comment, but they very subtly told me that the other one was rubbish, which is good, because it was rubbish and I hadn't really thought about it.
Okay. So my only critique with this, I love the idea of this. Now, but tell me, can you read here? Can you read that before it goes off the screen?
Oh yeah, but actually I'm a really quick reader, so maybe it does. Do you know what? It was a lot slower, and then I sped it up because I thought, oh, Pete, I don't want it to be kind of all a little bit dull and stuff. But actually, I am a quick reader, so maybe I should slow that down.
I would say just like 1 second more on each of the transitions.
Okay.
How long? Sure, your whole video is 133. 133 is good for a Kickstarter video. I would go in and see if I could trim that down even more. And maybe you don't have your excerpts of you talking. Maybe it's just the pieces of the book, but get it down to under 1 minute, because 1 minute is the limit for Instagram videos, so that you can actually share it to your Instagram page as well.
Ah, okay. So do you mean, so do a new cut down and post that on my Instagram? So like keep this one as is?
Yeah, I would keep this one. I like it. I would probably go at like maybe just a second longer, because I think some of the transitions, if you're asking them to read, like I'm really sensitive to it because my husband's dyslexic.
Okay.
So he reads slow. So it would literally be, hang on. She felt the synergy between her and her surroundings. So I would give it like probably 3 to 5 seconds at least where it's totally faded in.
Okay.
So the general rule, because I'm a really fast reader too, so I forget that a lot too. And I do the same thing. I go, oh, I can read that just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But most people can't. So they said, you know, basically when you're doing a read through, anytime you have any kind of text coming on the screen, what you want to do is you want to pretend that you're like a 6 or 7 year old that's just learning how to read, and read it like that. So big spaces between the words, and kind of like you're sounding them out. So she felt the synergy between her and her surround, and just use like your phone, like clock app, and see what the total time is to put it on. And if you're a really fast reader, you know, and you can read it, see what the difference is. And then if you can read it in say 2 seconds, but when you're pretending to read it slower, you're reading it in 4 or 5, then you know that if you can read it, that you need to add on like an extra 2 to 3 seconds of time for it to encompass everyone.
Sure. Okay. Good point.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. But yeah, I would say that you could do another version for Instagram, and I would just take out all the clips of you and just let it be about the book.
Okay.
And I think that would probably cut you down 30 seconds.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So, but 1 minute is the thing. So you want to keep it at like really like 58, 59 seconds, just to keep it under the wire so that you don't get cut off.
Okay.
And then thanks for taking an interest in my project. Feel free to ask any questions. Here, I would just have the link. And the interesting thing is, if you include a link to the Kickstarter as the comment when you post the video, it doesn't show up as a link on Instagram. So you'd have to actually put it in your profile on Instagram until the end of the Kickstarter.
That's what I was thinking of doing, actually. So I'm glad you said that. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Put link in bio.
Yes. So I would just have something with it like, the Kickstarter for Advectus is now live. Or really what you want to do is you want to talk about yourself in the third person and pretend you're Donald Trump. Because of the way that people, because that people interact. Like if you say, you know, my book is now live on Kickstarter, great. Somebody else has a fund crowdsource a campaign going, wonderful, along with the 83 million other people that are doing it now. But if you say something like UK artist travels the world to take pictures of beautiful abandoned places, and creates book on spirituality from it, or book on, and uses them with inspiration quotes. Like, play with the wording, but that's what you want. Like, all those videos that we see on Facebook are like, this artist is stunning artwork out of nothing but coffee filters and car parts, you know, like it's that kind of thing. So you don't want to say like, come see my project, because that's boring.
Sure.
But what you do want to do is you want to give them something to get interested in. So people are like, oh, I want to know how, you know, this artist creates visual interpretations of her favorite quotes. Like, what are the quotes? What are the things? Then there's like questions to be asked. So play with that a little bit. And it's often a lot easier for us. Like, if I talk to 9 out of 10 artists, they're like, I hate the idea of writing it about me. I hate me on camera. I hate talking about me. Yeah. So it's actually a lot easier for most artists when they do it from the standpoint of they're doing it for someone else. So if you were hired to write the tagline or the title, essentially to draw people in for another artist that had created this book, what would you say? And it helps people look at their work objectively.
Okay.
Okay. The Little Book of Calm in picture form that will soothe the soul and unfurrow the brow. I love that. You need some punctuation in there though. So the Little Book of Calm, comma, in picture form, comma, that will soothe the soul and unfurrow the brow. That way they can pause through it, because right now it reads the Little Book of Calm in picture form that will soothe the soul, and it kind of runs into each other. Okay. So let them stop, because I love that the tagline for this is the Little Book of Calm. That's perfect for it. And it makes it justifiable that it's a small book when most people think of big coffee table books.
Yeah. And my friend in marketing wrote that, so she's very clever.
Yeah, you owe her one of those little coffee things you're drinking. That's a great line. I love the pictures. I love the breakup. I think it's much more visually appealing now, having the text in between every couple of pictures. It looks good, Sandra. It looks really good.
Yeah, I'm pleased with it, I have to say. I need to talk to you a little bit more about the rewards. And the other thing I was thinking when I was driving today was where the pictures are at the bottom, like the ones that are going to be available as limited edition, should I be having the quotes underneath them? Because they won't have seen the book, so they won't really have seen any quotes. So
are you going to have the quotes on the print?
Not on the print, but I thought I might hand write them in ink on a piece of card and wrap that in with the print.
Then I would do that, and then I would have that picture sort of with it or below it. Like, you might be able to pull, hang on, let me. You might be able to pull this image into screen share because it's the actual photograph. And have you seen the excerpts I write where I like burn the edges of the pages?
Yes.
On my social media? Yeah. Yep. So if you're going to do the same thing in handwrite, then I would just take a good high-res shot on some kind of solid color background so it's easy to cut out. And then maybe just overlay it right over the print with like a little bit of shadow embossing so that it looks like it's sitting on top, so that each print comes with a handwritten card with the quote.
Okay.
And the print kind of thing so that they can see it. I would also look at actually giving these names, because again, Woodlands 3 is boring. C,
I'm so tree, bad. I'm so bad.
Like, this is like, I love you so much, but these are like the flashcards that I go over with my 5-year-old nephew. Like, tree, deer, tree 2, C, woodland 3, woodland 2, flow 1.
I'm
flow
so
number 3.
Writing titles on my image.
And then turmoil. And turmoil works. I'm fine with them being single words, but just don't make them like 1, 2, and 3 because it's not visually interesting.
Okay, so I need to name them based on what the quote really says, don't I?
Yeah. Like, are you familiar with Gretchen Chappell's work at all?
No, but I will have a look
at
it.
So she was in my foundation sphere for a while. She does some beautiful work, very similar to yours. And she likes these like little minuscule human elements in the middle of these vast landscapes where they're like smaller than an ant. And she has one with like these two kids on the beach, and it's like got that same sort of like stretched long exposure kind of feel to it. And then this huge rock, and like the name of it is like the impossible magnitude of eternity or something, or the impossible magnitude of something. But like she's really good at like naming them where like it's just an outstanding image. You don't necessarily have to do that. Like if the quote is about serenity or finding yourself or being brave, then maybe it's just a single word and something like bravery. Like if you had to name that image and that quote in a single word, what is it about? Quotes about,
okay,
you know what I mean? Pictures about.
That's a good idea.
So you can get as creative with it as you want, but tree 2, tree 1, tree 3 sounds like red fish, blue fish, one fish, two fish. So let's take it a little bit away from that, especially if we're trying to package it as you know, this fine art limited edition thing.
Yeah,
that's not going to sell it.
Okay, good point. Yeah, no, I will do that.
Okay. Other than that, though, I love the whole idea. I guess one challenge could be if all the rewards were taken. That's a lot of signing, packing, and posting. But I happen to have lots of little elves and plenty of caffeine to get me through it. Like reassure with it. Like when I did my book and they were like, what's the worst that could happen? I was like, there's 3,000 pounds of books and my children use it to build a fort, but they don't understand the laws of architecture. And so it collapses on them. And I spent 3 days in the hospital and you have to wait. Like, you know, like things happen. There may be delays, but I'm going to get them to you kind of thing. So a sense of humor is good.
Okay.
Let's look at the support. The postcards are good. Early bird signed book. First 90 copies. Hardcover. Okay, why do we have these two as the same price? What's the difference? Just that they're not signed?
Yeah, originally I started with them with different prices. The signed one was a bit more. And then I have...
As it should be.
Okay, then I have a photographer friend that I was talking to, and he was like, oh, I've been on this site a couple of times. There's a couple of sites that sell books, and they sell them exactly the same price, signed or not. And it's just that the first ones that sell get the signed ones kind of thing. So then I just thought, oh, okay, I kind of like that idea. But now I'm sort of changing my mind.
No, because if you have an image, if you have a print or an original piece of art by a famous author or a famous artist, it's always worth more if it's a signed book, especially if it's a signed first edition. So I would take out early bird again because wording matters. Early bird says discount. That's like, in America we have Black Friday. I don't know if you guys do that, but it's like,
yeah, we do now. Yeah. Okay. Take out early bird.
So I would take out early bird and I would have first signed first edition. And this one would be worth at least $25. And then you can have the pledge of $20 for more of the original book. So they can spend, and having it be a small amount, like $5 more, I would absolutely, if I'm going to invest, I'll absolutely pay an extra $5 to have a signed, or £5 to have a signed copy by the author. If they're going to invest, most people are going to upgrade to that.
Okay.
Signed book with limited edition print.
I'm not sure of the price on that because basically the print is going to be like an A4 size, and on my website an A3 size print is £95. So actually I sort of wonder, should that be a little bit lower? I mean, I know they get the book here as well, but I wonder if that should be lower. Like, should it be like £75?
Well, what's your overhead for it? What does the book cost you?
It's costing me, I think it costs about £11 all in. But the way I've calculated that is I have to buy, for the ISBN number, I buy a book, like a book of 10.
Yeah.
But I've actually lumped that all in because I may never do another book. So that is my cost kind of thing. So I have to pay like £150 for 10 ISBN numbers. So I've kind of put that in as my costs.
Okay, and then what is the cost of the print?
£11 a book.
Okay. And then the cost for the print?
Oh, for the print, I know. I print that myself actually. Probably I'd say about £10 with paper.
Okay, so we're at like 20, 22 pounds.
Yeah.
As your overhead. And we'll say everybody that buys is part of the rest of the world crew. So that's another 20 pounds. So that puts you at 40. I would say include the shipping and just go up to 100 pounds.
So, okay. So limited edition print, include shipping. Okay. And go 100. Okay.
I would be inclined to do that with the books as well. Like I'd be fine with you raising the prices on these and having shipping included for all of them.
Okay.
Because then what they're donating is the total amount. Because I had one project that I backed, and here's the thing is that they can, like when you go live, I can go in and let's say I pledge the 20 pounds to buy, you know, one of the, or 25 to get one of the signed copies. Even if you reach it, if you hit your goal, I get another message saying, okay, it's time to fill in your information and buy. I can cancel even after I supported it and it got funded. So if I go in and say, okay, I'm willing to donate $20 to your cause to have this book, but then when I get there, even though it's there, people don't read, they don't pay attention. All they know is they donated 20 pounds.
Okay.
And so when they go to fill it out and it says, okay, we're going to charge you 32 pounds now, they're like, well, I didn't say 32. I said 20. Forget this. I'm not going to buy it then. So I'm always of the mindset, and I do this with all of my clients, tax, shipping, everything is always included in my price for my clients. So the number that is quoted is the number you are paying. You don't have to think about, you know, 6% sales tax and coming into the country tax and customs and shipping and, you know, whatever it is. So if you have all those numbers worked out, the most expensive, I would just have it be a flat rate. The other nice thing about that is that when you have it as a flat rate and the shipping and handling and tax is all included in the cost, if you have most of your people buy from the UK, you make more money off of that one. So if we know that you're charging 20 pounds and that it's going to cost you no more than 12 pounds to ship it to the furthest place you can ship it, that's 32. So if you charge 32 pounds to cover that all, but most of the people that buy are in the UK, then instead of making 20 pounds, you're going to make 29 pounds off of every single one of those. So you'll actually make more money that way too.
The only thing that worries me about that, and it's kind of the rest of the world one, because that is quite an expensive postage, is I'm not sure whether people will pay £32. I know they kind
of book?
Yeah, for the book this size. I mean, I have sent this out to a few people for testing, and actually one person came back to me yesterday. He was the father of a friend of mine, and he had no idea how much I was going to be charging, and he said he would pay £15 for this book. So if it ends up, I mean, he's not my client base, but if it ends up that on the site someone sees that it's like £32 because it's got to cover worldwide shipping, then I wonder if that will put them off. My worry is that I don't get this funded because it seems too expensive, I think. So I really want to print this. Maybe it's not as much of a problem. Maybe it's the £12 worldwide. Maybe it's not such a problem if I just included like the USA, Europe and UK as one. So did it at like £28.
I mean, you can do that too. I mean, you can do it however you want. If you want to just have the shipping, and I think that's fine. I always include it, and then there's no extra costs.
Would it be confusing to have the separate rewards? So like have it like pledge £23 or more for the book, and when then it says ships to, and then you just have UK, and then the next pledge down would be pledge £26 ships to Europe, or do you think that gets too confusing?
No, that's how I did mine and it worked fine. When I had mine, I only had two prices. I had US and then I had worldwide.
Okay.
So you might think about combining them that way. But I would expect from here, I'm telling you from my point of view, if I was buying, I wouldn't think anything of spending that.
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe I'll split it into two different ones or something.
Let me see. British pound, 32 pounds would be $42. Well, let's see, $42. That's because it's a smaller book. I'm inclined to say that would be a high price. So it's the trade-off of people looking at it and saying $42 is the entire price for the book. But if all the shipping, handling, and tax is included in that, I don't think that it's bad.
Okay.
I think that you can do it either way. Honestly, I think the way that you have it is fine. So if you're getting feedback from people saying that that's too pricey, because really that's the way to do it, is to reach out via the Arcanum and other things and go, look, this is what I have. Do you think that this is worth the price? You know, at 42 pounds or at, and just see, or ask them open-endedly, here's my project, you know, this is the book and the thing. What would you pay for this?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
You know?
That's what I've been doing. Asking everyone and showing it to them. And
so are you getting a general estimate that's in the same kind of range? Like,
yeah, I think £20 is their top range. So I think it does go between 15 and 20. So I don't know, maybe I should do the signed edition at 20 and the normal one at 15, or just keep I was gonna say, or just keep going with what it is, because you know, it is a lovely book, it is well printed, and it's a, you know, it's been a lot of work, so maybe I don't want to keep it down.
I think even if you only go up 1 or 2 pounds for the signed edition, take value in the fact that your name has value, that it is signed by you, and what that's going to be, you know, and it comes into play. Like, you know, people might have looked at Picasso and Degas and, you know, and Jane Austen and them and gone, oh, great, it's signed by the author. But what is a signed edition by Jane Austen worth now?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, what is that for future generations and family and stuff like that? And so do it under the concept that your notoriety is going to grow and the value is going to increase. But I would definitely put it at least, you know, even if it's only £1, just put a little bit of value on the artist as well as the art.
Okay, I will do that. I'll put that up, and then we've done that one. Okay, and then there is the workshop one.
Okay. Signed book and private workshop. Signed edition of Effectus plus private 4-hour workshop with me in London.
You know what?
I'd take away the shipping costs and go, hey, you're going to get the book hand delivered by me.
Okay.
Need to be taken before the end of 2017. Workshops are open for both beginners, where we go through the basics of photography, how to use those to create interesting things. Email me for further information and date availability before pledging to ensure the workshop is what you are looking for. My gratitude. I think that you should consider whether you want to have set dates and put them into your calendar now.
Okay.
You know, so if if you set it up, you know, most people you consume will want to do it on a weekend because they have school and work and everything tends to operate on the weekday schedule. So if you're going to do a 4-hour workshop, I would pick a day. Like
Okay.
workshops can be offered and are on a first come, first serve basis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, any last Sunday of the month all through 2017, you know,
Okay.
because you're doing limited. How many are you allowing to buy the workshop?
Oh, that was important. Yeah, I haven't put any, have I?
No.
Does it not say? Hang on. Does it? Or does
No.
it?
It says limited, 0 backers.
That's
I
weird.
don't think you.
I have filled that. Hang on, I'm going to go on it. That's really weird because I can see that as well. But actually, I have limited them. So that's
Well, they do say limited, but they don't tell us how many.
Yeah. So in the workshop, I'd done 10.
The first 9. Okay, so yeah, so if you did the last Sunday or first Sunday or Saturday, whatever works for your schedule of each month, and then just let people book. And as soon as they book, you know, just reach out to them and go, hey, what date do you think would work for you?
Yes.
You know, that would be good. So I would put that information in immediately.
Okay.
And I would put, in that, okay, so shipping costs will come out.
Yeah.
Workshops will be available from January 2000. Workshops will be available during 2017, the, you know, last weekend of each month.
Okay.
And then you can have this information about the workshops being for beginners and more advanced. And then as soon as you pledge, you'll receive an email from me inviting you to select a date and to answer any questions. So put the contact in your hands to contact them, so that you don't have a bunch of people wasting your time and going, well, what about this? And can we do that, when they haven't even yet?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because you're telling them right now, before you send me any money, let me waste all my time on you when you probably have no intention of sending me money. So don't do that. After they bid, you'll contact them, answer any questions you have, and work with them to customize it to suit their level and needs.
Sure. Okay.
And I love the high range one with the personal quote and image. I think that's beautiful.
Oh, do you? Because you know that's really out of my comfort zone, like massively out. So basically,
no, I love it.
So there's 2 mad ones. You told me to come up with a mad one, like a mad price one, and there's one below. I'm not saying that I would offer both of them, but there's one. The one below that is just the one-off print of the image that's the front cover of the image. And I worked out what it would cost if I sold my editions, because that's a limited edition. I haven't sold any of them yet, but it's limited edition. And it worked out something like, I would, if the whole edition sold out, it would make like just over £8,000. So I thought, oh, well, brilliant. I'll put it in at 8,000. But the UK Kickstarter doesn't allow you to go more than 5,000. So that's the highest one. So then I thought, okay, I'll do 1 and 1. But then I thought, well, I kind of don't want that to just have one. I mean, I would at least want to have a print myself that I might want to display. Like there's talk that I might do an exhibition of Adfectors towards the end of the year. And I definitely would want that print in there. So,
well, keep in mind that limited editions are just that. They're limited editions of that variation. So right now you have a 1-of-1 print of 32 inches by 20 images. But you don't have it specified what the print is on or of. So I would add that to it. Is it being printed on linen? Is it printed on metal? Is it printed on canvas? You know, because that changes it too. So that may be the 1-of-1, only 32 by 20 size of that print that is ever printed on metal. which doesn't mean that you can't do a 32 by 20 series of 5 that are printed on canvas, or that you can do a, you know, a 24 by 36 or a 20 by 30 on metal editions in smaller sizes, all the way down to like 8 by 10. It only means that if you do that one, that there is none other that is exactly like that one. So there are plenty of people I know that sell limited editions, and it's like a series of 20 images that are, you know, 11 by 14, and a series of 10 images that are 16 by 20, and a series of 5 images that are 24 by 36, and a single image that is, you know, like 48 by 60 thing.
Okay.
So you can still print copies of it. You just can't do whatever that is. So I would be very, very specific about what material it's printed on, what the size is, if it's matted and framed, like that kind of stuff. Get specific with it, and then just know that you can never create it in that context again.
Okay, because what I normally do is I have 2 sizes on my limited editions. There's a 32 by 20, and there are, I'm just looking now, that's weird. There are 5 of those, plus an artist proof. And then I also do a 22 by 14, which is an edition of 8 plus 2 artist proofs. So that's all that there would ever be. But what I'm saying with this is that I won't print 5 of that size. I will only ever print 1 in 32 by 20.
So do it bigger. Do it the next size up. It's a single print. You're going to make $5 grand off of it. Make it grandiose. Do it bigger, especially if you've never ever done a print in that size. They would have the one Kickstarter campaign photo ever done by Sandra Jordan that is a 24 by 36 or a 36 by 48 kind of thing. Do it the next size up and have it in that size. That way you can still do it in the normal sizes that you usually offer.
And
then it'll be all the more exclusive because you've never done one that big.
And do I need to explain in that paragraph that there are other editions of that image, or is that irrelevant?
No, I think with limited editions, the same way that you do them now, and you have 2 different sizes, as long as it is a one of one series,
yeah,
printed on canvas in 36 by 48, a size larger than the artist normally offers prints in.
Okay.
You know, that's fine.
Okay.
It's also the kind of thing that it might be worth it for you to consider whether or not you would like to put some of the limited edition prints in for people that don't want to buy the book, but just want to buy the print. So if all these other images that you're offering prints of, maybe you have somewhere in between some of your prices too, to have other ones where they can buy a limited edition print of any of these, you know, these fine art ones that are part of the Kickstarter series limited edition.
Okay, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good idea. Going back to that image, it will be paper. I'm not a fan of canvas, I have to say, personally, for myself. So it's always
I don't care what you do it in. I'm just saying whatever it is, there would never be another one printed in that substance again.
But my question was, do you think I should offer it framed? So it's a done, you know, that's it. It's done, it's framed, it's shipped. I mean, of course, that then means that I end up with a lesser amount of profit. However, it does make it easy. I mean, I don't know. For me, I kind of think, wow, £5,000 for a one-off print just on paper, albeit a gorgeous print on paper, is quite a lot of money. If it's a finished piece and it's framed and delivered.
Most limited edition prints, if you're going to invest that kind of money, they come ready to hang on the wall.
Yeah.
So if you're going to mat it and frame it because you're doing it in paper, that's one thing. And you can well, you can't up the price, right? Kickstarter will let you get
I kind of think that I would still do quite well on. I mean, it's kind of annoying at that 5,000, you know, Kickstarter take what, like 400 quid? Really annoying. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, they're like 10%. So if it's 5,000, they'll probably take closer to 500
quid. But still, that still is, you know, and I know I've already got a quote. I think it's like 300 quid to ship it because it would go in a proper crate and stuff because it's going to have glass. It's probably about 300 quid to frame it, I would think. So 6. It would probably cost me about £1,500. So still, there's a £3,500 profit there.
Is that about as much as you make off of your other limited editions?
My other limited editions, that normal size starts at, the first one is 1200. They go in a stepped. The second one is 1600, and the third one is 2500 at that size.
Okay.
But there are 3 in that edition.
Well, I would look at that and look at what your actual profit is on them, and see if you're at least breaking even. The other option for something that you can look at is offering that as an option. So maybe that is just the print, but you offer complimentary white glove service to have it mounted and framed and sent to your home ready to hang on the wall for an additional X amount of dollars, which can be arranged after the Kickstarter. That way the Kickstarter isn't taking a portion of the profits of the shipping costs, which is actually expense that's going out to you. And it's something they can add on afterwards.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You know?
But would you then reduce that £5,000 if it was just the print only?
No, it's a limited edition 1-of-1 print from the Sandra Jordan. $5,000 is a steal.
Okay, great. Keep telling everyone that.
Yeah.
Okay, I will add that. Add custom framing after. I like that idea. Okay, so should I offer both those pledges, that print and that personal quote thing?
Hell yeah. Why not?
Okay, so going back to that personal quote, I thought I could get myself into quite a lot of trouble because there's no kind of finite, like, there's nothing worded there that says like within reason. I mean, I could be working on this with the same person for 4 years because
I'm totally the kind of person that would buy that and be like, my quote is bitches and hoes on a boat. Yeah, like do that.
Yeah,
you know, which maybe that page is an insert. Maybe it's a print insert that goes out with the books instead of actually being added in. Or maybe they pick a list of quotes from you, or maybe just put something in that says subject to artist approval.
Yeah, because I mean, in my idea, it was kind of like we were going to have like a Skype call, or if it's a face-to-face, even if they live in this country, talk about what they've not gone through in their life. It's not like a therapy session, but just talk about things that are meaningful to them. So I don't want to use a famous quote. It's got to be a quote that I come up with based on what I get from them, kind of thing. But there could be a lot of back and forth. You know, if it doesn't click with someone, it doesn't click with someone. So I might come up with a fabulous quote, and they're just like, yeah, that doesn't work for me. So I could keep coming up again and again and again and just not get anything. My problem then is, of course, I'd have no problem to refund the money if they felt we weren't getting anywhere. But then, of course, out of that £2,500, Kickstarter have already taken 250 quid.
Yes.
So I don't know if that's a risky reward to do.
I don't think so. I think, you know, like I joke about it, and maybe somebody has disposable income to put something stupid up, you know, like never eat yellow snow kind of thing. But at the same time, I think anybody that does that is going to be moved by the project and be very interested in what the artist has to say.
Yeah.
So I think that if you get a bid for that you could probably enter into conversations with them before the Kickstarter ends.
Right.
And, you know, the idea would be to be on the same page about what's going in there before the Kickstarter ends, so that if they're not happy with it, and they want to withdraw their offer, they do that before Kickstarter takes its cut.
Good idea. Okay.
I'm not 100% sure on this, but I do believe that there is an option for you to refund Kickstarter things, and that they can go to Kickstarter and ask for a refund, in which case Kickstarter refunds the full amount, including the portion that they took. So that might be something to actually reach out to Kickstarter and just ask them, you know, what if afterwards it's funded and then somebody wants a refund or wants it back? Can they get that from you? Did they get that from me? How do I get money back? Am I just out that, you know, there's got to be some good information on that. And that might vary by country. So I would be interested to hear the answer to that too, but I would just look it up. But I'm pretty sure you can figure it out. I do know that during the Kickstarter at any time, they can retract their offer.
Okay.
So you can go live tomorrow and I can buy it. And then you know, what are you going to have it set for? 30 days, 45?
Yeah, 30 days, 30 images.
Okay, so
like the number 30.
yeah, no, I love it. So I could go and buy it on day 1 and be your first customer, and then on day 29 or day 30, like an hour before it closes, I could, now I'm going to retract my bid. Like the supporters can do that at any time. So if you get somebody that jumps on that and says, hey, I'm thinking of doing that, and you work with them, you know, and have the time to do that and kind of go back and forth with them, then you'll probably have that figured out beforehand. So
okay, cool.
I don't think it's too risky. I think anybody that makes that kind of investment will probably be your kind of people and will love anything that you come up with.
Okay.
You know, or they'll come at you with something. Like I have a ton of quotes that I love, you know, so you might run into someone like me that would do it and go, oh, these are my favorite quotes and things I'm inspired by, and can we do something around one of these?
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
Okay, cool.
So,
and I was only going to offer one of those because I thought that might be quite a lot of work anyway. Do you think just offering one?
Yeah,
special,
yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay, great.
Now, here's my only caveat with that is that you have these 2 high-end things. You have $2,500 to add an extra page into the book. One, have you talked to the book publisher to see about adding an extra page and what that's going to do? Because books are usually printed in pages of 4. So you might have 3 extra pages in your book then that now have no information on them.
What do you mean an extra page?
So when book printers, when they go to the printing press, they're printed on big flats of papers that are then folded and cut.
Oh yeah, no, I know that. But why have I got an extra page in my book now?
Well, let me...
That page we were just talking about won't go in the book.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think it's something that will take months to work on together.
Okay, then I would be very clear about this is not included in the book.
Okay, cool.
Your own personal, I would put your own personal quote and print. Or your own personal print and quote shipped in addition to the book, you know, like something that very clearly helps them see that they're separate from each other.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But I think it's pretty much done. I think you're just polishing the final.
Yeah, exactly.
Final edges.
I think I did have now someone. Oh yeah. So this person, my friend's dad, who looked at it, he actually used to be in advertising, and he thought that maybe, like, you know, the subtitle says that an exploration of life and how we fit into the world. He wondered if it should be how you fit into the world, so it talks directly to the person that's looking at it.
I mean, it is good to always connect, but I think it's splitting hairs. So I think whatever suits your personal feelings, I would trust that.
Okay. All right. I'll have a think about that. And my last question is, 2 people that have reviewed it have both said they would prefer it as a bigger book, and could it not be a coffee table book? And my personal thing was, it was because they want to see the images larger. I think that's their thing. My personal thing was, it's supposed to be like a small, quite intimate kind of book. It's not really, because it's quite a personal thing. So I don't think it's really something that just sits on your coffee table. It's almost something that gets on your shelf and then you take it out and read it in your own time, kind of thing. Am I confusing you? You look very confused.
No, I think I like it as a small book, and I think it's just going to be the marketing. So I think your marketing friend actually put it in when they said the little book of calm.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, that's its identity. You don't want it to be something that it's not. So, you know, I do think that it's the kind of thing that if you go and put this online and you see that it sells tens of thousands of copies, you know, then you can offer it. The other thing that you could do is you could get a quote on what it would be to be a larger book, and you could do another crowdsourcing and go, look, a lot of people asked me if I would do this as a larger coffee table book. So we're going to do another Kickstarter. There is one prize. That prize is a larger version of the book. And if and only if I sell this many copies, will I do another print edition? Because you can always do a second edition run.
So it could be a second. doesn't it? Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. Because actually, when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, oh God, I need to get a test book done, and I really want this to go live on the 14th of September, and I don't think there's enough time.
Yeah, no.
Print done and stuff.
And if I wanted to do that as a second printing, and after I ran it, because it's going to be less investment for you because it's a smaller book, so there's less to print, so the cost is a lot less. If I wanted to run the numbers and see, I would call my printer and see what it would cost to get it done as a bigger book before even doing, you know, the test book and print size and everything, and just see. And what I might do is I might put a limit on the first edition. If this is the first edition of the smaller books, then maybe I'm only selling 500 or 250 or however many copies, and I'm not going to sell more even if people want to support the project. Then I'll do a larger version of it as a second edition printing. You know,
I'm just trying to see how many I've got. I've got 190, 290, 300, 301. I'll have to change that. It'll be 300, I think, the book run. Does that seem quite low? Does that seem quite low?
I mean, yeah, it is low, but that's not a bad thing for a limited edition book. The problem is that 300 would actually be better suited for the larger version of the book as a limited edition. The smaller ones are easier to get into places, but we're not saying that this is a limited edition. So if you go and you sell this out 300 copies like that, you can always do a second run. Like I've turned you on to Kirsty Mitchell already. I've mentioned her to you.
Yeah.
So right now she's doing her second printing, and they crashed the site. So she made $500,000 off her Kickstarter with her first book, and now I think it's like a year and a half later, she's doing the second printing, and she's making another, you know, however many, and she's not doing it through Kickstarter. So that's something else to consider too, is what would it take to get double the books? And if you don't want to deal with the packaging and shipping of them, to warehouse them and have them shipped out like they do on Amazon and stuff like that, where you don't have any part of that, you know, can you do a second run, and can you have this finance not only the ordering of these books, but also the next run of them? So are you going to order another 1,000 books? Because then if everybody goes crazy over this and it blows up and it gets really big and people are like, oh, I wanted a book, and you had 800 people that were willing to buy, they can buy the second edition that will come out sometime in 2018.
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of thing, or 2017 at the end of 2017. So you can kind of figure out from there where you want it to be.
Yeah. Okay. So so stick with where I am now, and then, like you say, I can always do another print run or change.
Yeah, I would
add or Okay.
I would be looking at it, and that might be the kind of thing. Now, on the opposite side, if we're printing 300 books, but say we only sell, let's say 200 of them, which is enough to get the books printed and make a little bit of profit and put it in, but leaves you with 100 books sitting in your house. Then if you didn't want to worry about the next printing of it and you wanted to move on to Hidden Beauty or another project, then those books become collateral for people to, as a prize, you can sell those next 100 books with your next campaign. Sure. So if you did the same thing and did a Hidden Beauty book, one of the prizes could be buying the rest of the first print edition of Infectish, or the artist's first collected works. Does that make sense?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, you know, it's just polished work right now. Like, you're so close. It's just tweaking a couple of little things, and then I think you're done and ready to go.
Yeah, I think it's good. There's one other thing. Did you see the postcard on that? I'm just trying to find where I'd put it. Wherever I put in you screen shared a minute ago in the community where I'd given you the link, there was a photo there. That had like a card that I was going to put in to every book. Yeah, that's it. Do you think that sounds okay? What's written?
Hidden Beauty, exploring beauty through the device of architecture. Buildings that are often ignored, barely noticed at all, yet full of enticing repetitive shapes within shapes. Different units with their own individualities, almost human-like, akin to the details perceived when looking more closely at a crowd. Stark unflinching facades against gray expanses of sky. Jordan creates space for her buildings to breathe, reflecting her belief that we all need space to just be. Coming 2017. I like it. It's a little wordy.
It's an excerpt from what, you know, that I've just joined this gallery. It's an excerpt of what they have written on my artist page, but clearly that is quite wordy because that's kind of like the project information. Maybe I should cut it down a bit.
I mean, I like it. I don't necessarily know that. I feel like it would be more personal, especially if it's a postcard that's being included by you. It shouldn't be by somebody else.
Okay.
So I don't know that I would, you know, like that's great for their gallery and for her to put together stuff to sell from her thing. But I don't know that I would like promote her thoughts on the project to your following from you. Does that?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I would be more inclined, and personalization always counts. So I love if you want to do that image on the front and have the back to be written, I would be more inclined to maybe handwrite something that you can put into Photoshop so that it's actually a note from you, like a postcard.
Okay.
You know, so sit and write what you want, whether you write that digitally with a pen or you write it and then photograph it from a piece of paper or something. But just put, you know, something personal and something from you along the lines of, you know, the next project is Hidden Beauty, you know, which for me means X, and this is what I'm doing with it. So please follow me at these links to stay up to date on the next project, kind of thing.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I got excited about Hidden Beauty when you were talking about it to me. So, you know, I think grabbing a notebook and piece of paper, just writing about what Hidden Beauty is and why that's appealing to you and what it is you're trying to accomplish. If you write a page or two for yourself, just kind of free thought flowing, you'll hit on it. And it's going to be something like the Little Book of Calm. Like you'll hit on something and go, oh, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
And then you can figure out how to condense that into a postcard worthy message. But that's a lot of words on a little postcard as opposed to, you know, Hidden Beauty 2006. You know, I'm really like sometimes mystery sells more than information. So it might just be Hidden Beauty 2017. You know, like just enough for.
Could I just not really have anything and just let them be intrigued? Yeah, I do quite like that.
And you could even do that on the front. Like you could have Hidden Beauty coming 2017 or 2017 on the front with the image. And then on the back, just write, love Sandra.
Yeah.
You know, or a website to more, or somewhere they can go to find more information.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I like that idea. That's good. Gosh, it's all getting very close to the finish line, isn't it? I know. God, it's amazing. So it's going to go live on the 14th of September.
Okay.
And what I was going to do, I don't know if you think this is a good idea, but I was going to post one image a day on Instagram, which is the what like it lasts for 30 days. So it'll be one image from the book because there's 30 images with the quote and like just with the hashtags and the link to go. I mean, the link's going to be in my bio, but that's what I thought I'd do throughout the month, just so it's constantly out there. Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think that's not a good idea?
Yeah, no, I love that idea. I would also hang on a second, let me look something up. This is it. I haven't actually used this service yet, but I've used it for other people. Like I've contributed. I think this is the website. Let me double check before I give it to you.
It's not a schedule website, is it?
Something like that.
So I was going to use Latergram.
Well, no, that's for you, but I think it's. Yeah. Okay, so it's thunderclap.it.
The clap.
And basic, yeah, thunderclap.
Oh, thunderclap. Thunderclap.it.
Uh-huh.
You told me about this before. That rings a bell. No, maybe not. No, that was something Bruce told me.
Okay, so here's what you're going to be doing from now until 14th. What you want to do is you want to get everybody on. So what it does is it allows everybody to basically commit to your campaign to share it. So when you create your event, then I can go and click, yes, I want to support this. And basically all I do is you pick the date and the time. So it can be every day. It can be just on September 14th. But what you want to do is you want to share the link to all your friends, share it to everybody in the cohort, you know, share it to everybody in the Arcanum, get on Artist Atrium and everything else, and ask people to share this out. And then what they do is they go and it's like log in with Facebook, log in with Twitter kind of thing. But what we do is we basically like give it the ability to post, and it will one time post on the same day. So basically if you get, there's like 600 people in the Artist Atrium right now. If you get, you know, a bunch of them and from our cohort and from your social media following and your friends and family and the art gallery director and the people that you have reviewing the book and everything, if they all sign up and do this, then on September 14th, if you go live at noon, on September 14th at noon, it's going to go out to all of our social media feeds and therefore all of our social media followings, and everybody's going to put it out for you. So when you think about that, just with me being on it, that's 35,000 people that are on my, now I'm up to 41. That's 41,000 people that are on my fan page now that are going to, you know, have the potential to see that notification when it makes a post to my page. Hey, Infectus is now live, go support it. Or The Little Book of Calm by Sandra Jordan. You know, whatever you have. So think in terms of tweets so that it's short, because a lot of people like me have our social media links. So when I post to my fan page, it auto posts to my Twitter.
Sure. Yeah.
But it'll go out to all of my followers. So if you do that and you get 100 people that are sending it out, whether it's on their personal page or their fan pages or Twitter or Facebook or whatever it's connected to, it's going out to all kinds of people that you will not personally touch because they're not following you. They're following me, or they're following Bruce, or they're following, you know, whoever. But it's a really good way for people to sign up and then not have to do anything because it auto posts for them.
That's amazing. I've never heard of that.
So
yeah, look at it. I've got it up.
Yeah, I just found it randomly too. I haven't gotten the chance to use it yet, but that is a great way to build a lot of following. So if we're trying to get 300 people to buy the book for you and you have, say, 1,000 people on your fan page, well, if you get 10 other people that have 1,000 people following them, now we're, instead of selling, you know, 300 out of 1,000 is like 30%. Instead of selling 30% of the books, we've now got 10,000 people. We're selling like 3%.
Yeah.
You know, collectively. And chances are you are who you hang with. So you've got a lot of photographer friends, which means they have a lot of photography followers, you know, so you want to look for people that are in the same kind of realms as you.
Yeah.
You know, and it introduces them to it too. And you can go, look, you know, I'd really love you to do this for me. And then I would really love you to make a campaign for what you're promoting so that I can be on yours as well. And it just builds this sort of all ships rise kind of thing. But definitely create an account for it and put it in the group. At the bare minimum, you've got 10, 15 of us in the cohort that would do it, that all have, you know, between a couple hundred and a couple thousand followers, and you only need 300 of them to buy the book.
Okay, perfect. I was going to ask you something then that's completely slipped my mind. Do you think it's okay? I was going to post it into the Artist Atrium, and then I thought, God, I haven't even been in there at all.
No, post it.
It will be okay. It's not like I don't.
Yeah.
God, she doesn't spend any time in here, and now she's, you know, just coming in.
Most of the people don't spend time in the Artist Atrium unless they need to reach out beyond their cohorts, because everybody's busy in their cohorts.
Okay.
So, and they have somewhere in there that's like for announcements and things you're doing and bragging rights and whatnot. So, you know, just take a look around and figure out where it's best suited to post. But I don't think that it's a problem. Okay. You know, and you can do it from the standpoint too of putting it in and just getting some feedback on it too, and going, hey, I'm getting ready to go live with this. Does anybody else have any helpful thoughts or advice or ideas? Because you don't know what they've kickstarted or crowdfunded to, that they might have something that you and I haven't thought of.
Sure.
You know, there are hundreds of them in there. They're all good people.
Okay, cool. Amazing. So exciting.
And then I would tag Trey and go, hey, I've been spending a ton of money on your school, and you know, and I deal with Jess beating me up all the time, and the least you can do is share this out to your millions of followers on G+ for me.
And
tell him I sent you, so he yells at me.
Yeah, I might say, look, I didn't want to. I was a bit shy, but because I was on his walk. I'm going to say that, yeah, you made me do it as part of my level.
Well, and that too, the Arcanum does promote things that you guys are doing. So when you put it in the artist atrium, tag plus mention Tanya Wallace.
Yeah.
And just say, hey, I'd really love it if the Arcanum would share it out on their social media pages as well. Because a lot of times they love promoting it. Your success is our success. If you sell out this book and make $100,000 from a Kickstarter because you've been studying from one of their masters, you know, like that's how people sell, is reviews. You know, you're the results not typical person that we go, join the Arcanum, you'll make $100,000 off of a 5x7 book. You know, like it's one of those things. And then, you know, then we have to break their hearts and tell them, yeah, but you got to work as hard as Sandra did to do it. Yeah. It's like dieting. Like, you know, I dropped 10 pant sizes. You know why? Because I stayed with the diet. You won't.
Yeah.
So it's the same kind of idea.
It's been hard work, but it's been good. I mean, not hard work, it's enjoyable. If it's something you love, then you enjoy it, don't you? Yeah, again, look at all my notes. I'm always writing massive notes when I'm on chatting with you.
I love it. That's why you've gotten so far.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then, then it's almost like, God, then what do I do? But that's for another session.
Then we start working
level to work on.
Yeah. So then there's all the shipping and the packaging and the promoting, and you know, we're working on all of it. So you also haven't requested a level up. Like, we keep meeting and I keep giving you more work, but
aren't I still on the same level? I don't even know.
Yeah, you're like at level 32 right now. Like, we just kind of meet and do it, and I'm like, here's your assignments, and then we meet again. But so yeah, you should probably be at like 35 or 36. But
really? Okay. Because I do want to. Yeah. I kind of was thinking the other day that, like, for the remainder of my levels, I mean, I know I'm getting on with this and that's all going to kind of kick off, hopefully, but I might want to bring back a bit of artistry into my remaining level.
I love it.
Something, because I do think that I'm still working on Hidden Beauty, but I want to start maybe with some other projects and experimenting a bit, maybe. Like Amanda's gone off on a massive macro kind of slant, and so I probably would want to do something like that and bring back the artistry a bit, because this has been a lot about the kind of book making side and crowdfunding and the quotes, and it's been amazing. I've absolutely loved it, without a doubt. And to go back to making some art.
Well, would you want to start creating more art for the Hidden Beauty thing? Because here's the thing, is that right now we're going to do a big push that's going to put your name in front of a lot of people. And if you're asking everybody to promote you, one of the things that you're doing is putting a postcard about Hidden Beauty in there. Yeah. So from the standpoint, even if we're talking about artistry and creating, you know, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be considering where the saleability of that is as well. So if you're going to tell them, hey, make sure to look out and pay attention to Hidden Beauty, and then you're not going to touch Hidden Beauty because you want to do something else, that's totally okay. But then maybe we shouldn't be promoting Hidden Beauty. So
sure,
you know,
I mean, I think with Hidden Beauty, I'm probably quite good of that on my own, because there is kind of a standard, as in, it's like, I know the buildings I need to photograph. I've got a list of 30 pages of more buildings to photograph. I know that I've got to go to Poland and Russia and all that to continue. But it's almost like a project that runs on its own, because it's not so emotionally led. It is very kind of gut driven, and I know what I need to photograph. I think that will run quite easily on its own.
Okay.
But then when that ends, and I don't know when that will be, there's so much more in that kind of, you know, to photograph and stuff, but then I don't want to be left with no project, if that makes sense. I almost want to be forward thinking of what's the one that comes after that and start
Okay,
working.
well, maybe before we meet up again, I think if you wanna hook up and have a conversation right before you go live, we can, but I don't think that I really have anything else to offer
I
you.
think we're good. No, you've been amazing. I think
Yeah.
I've got everything that I need to go live. I think that's incredible. Yeah, no, I'm good. And I'm
then
sort of
I would say
until like, October, November time.
okay, I would say maybe halfway through, we'll see how you're doing, because you're going to have to prepare for one of two things. Either you're going to have to prepare for the idea that we aren't selling it, and then we're going to have to like adjust halfway through to get you over the hump, or it's going to sell wildly and quickly, and then you're going to have to prepare for success. And how are you getting all these books out, and how fast are you going to do that, and getting all their information and stuff like that, so we can have like a meeting halfway through about that, about getting you ready for the end of the campaign.
Okay.
So I would say at least for the next couple of weeks that this is going to be your focus. But really, once you start it, like aside from like the post, the image, and social media, there isn't much work to do until it's done.
Exactly.
So maybe when we have that next meeting, have a sheet with a list of ideas. Just sit down and write whatever comes to your head as what I would like to do as far as taking images or photography or retouching, or where you want to focus on the art side. And then we'll go from there and build your next levels from that.
Okay. I mean, it may be more adfectus. There may be more quotes to come. So it may be built that and, for a second book or for, a second series or something. I have to think about it.
Well, and I totally think that Adfectus can go, like, maybe the second edition of Adfectus is just online. Maybe it's a social media campaign. So it still involves new pictures, it involves new quotes, but it involves building a schedule out so that you have continuous growth of following coming, which will require you to have continuous new images coming.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, that's good. So I'll think about that while I'm sunbathing on my roof terrace on an island next week.
Yeah, all right. Well, negative karma for you. Go enjoy that. Go drink your coffee. I'm done with you.
I'll be working very hard to write my photography workshop, so I will be working.
I'll be cutting my grass with scissors.
Which you'll then break somehow.
You're grounded. All right.
Thanks very much again. Right, amazing session again. I will go in and ask to be leveled up. So I'll go and do that. Okay, cool. Brilliant. Thanks, Jen. Amazing as ever. Bye.